Welcome to Expertsoft, one of the best online and corporate training provider in SAP. Detailed overview on the SAP service parts planning.
Yes, we
Okay.
can able to see the screen. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, now what we have is like 3 candidates, but varied experience. Like again, some of the guys know some of the basic concepts of SPP. One is totally new. So I won't be considering this at all. I will start with the basic by consideration that, okay, you don't know SPP at all. Even though you know, that is well and good, but I would start as a basic only. So these are the topics I'm going to cover it. So SPP overview, what are the different system landscapes are involved, what are the different master data. So bill of distribution is the major one, region pattern, inventory balancing area, rounding profiles, back specs. These are some of the master data terminology used in the SPP. Then planning profile, service profile, these are the planning engines used in the SPP. Then of course supersession is one of the great and complex features provided by the SPP. Then we will see how the data is flowing from BI to SPP and how we capture those demand histories. Then it comes to stocking, destocking, how do we decide that, okay, this location is going to be stocked or okay, not going to be stocked. So that's how is this replacement indicator needs to be set up. So those things we will see. Forecast profiles, how the forecasting can be done, what are the different configuration to do this automatic model selections, different various types of error handling, how to approve the forecast. Then comes to the inventory planning, EOQ, economic order quantity, safety stock planning. We'll see how that is getting calculated. Then comes to the major planning area, that is the DRP, distribution requirement planning, where we'll learn the different concepts like lead time, stability rules, supplier shutdown and all. So that there are some additional features like seasonal safety stock shift, VLCO and all. How to do the scheduling in DRP, how to plan the procurement planning. Then last comes to the deployment, or to the deployment, what are the various rules that we need to set up, how to generate the STRs, and then additional functionality like alerts, which is the main one. And then addition with these topics, we will see the integration with the ECC, like what are the core interface or integration models you have to set up so the data comes from ECC to SPP, or the data that it goes from the APO, I mean SPP to ECC to and fro, how to set up that transactional data integration models. So all those things, CRM, of course, because the ATP checks is going to be from the CRM when the sales order confirmation is required. So those kind of integration we will see, not in very detail, because we should have the proper integration between the system already established, and then that would be the easy process. Otherwise, there could be a lot many things that basis needs to be set up. So that is taken care by the basis activities basically. So this is what about the total syllabus or topics that would be covered, and this would take around 30 to 35 hours, depends how we are going in, if we need to slow down, if we need to increase our speed, and also that's how we have to manage it. So before moving into the details of SPP, so what is this SPP? As we have a Prasad who is fairly new to the SPP solution. So service parts planning. Service parts planning is the planning capabilities which is going to applicable for the aftermarket business. That means service parts only. So where the service parts comes majorly, of course, automotive industries, right? Where you have a huge numbers of parts, products, and the orders which are getting generated on the daily basis. And that's how SAP SAP introduced this new solution that is called the service parts planning only for the automotive or aerospace industries. This won't be applicable to your retail, pharma, manufacturing and all industries. That's how you will see all the major Caterpillar, Ford, General Motors, then who else you have? So many automotive industries, they are going for the Volvo. They are going for the service parts planning only because it's specifically suitable to their processes. And then what it gives the benefit that, okay, it's gives the transparency throughout your supply chain. When the demand occurs for the particular part, how that is going to be fulfilled and delivered to the customer, that complete process you can verify through this SPP. So suppose your trucks break down and that needs certain parts to be replaced, and the customer is placing the order for that. So how that orders is getting processed, how that order fulfillment happens, and then finally how the customer receives the parts, and then this total process gets completed. That whole scenario end to end that you will learn in SPP. So SPP is nothing but it's an integration for the different modules. Okay, APO and SPP. APO is more into the other industries. Okay, AP is also very good module. Means you have a different planning capabilities over there, but it is not suitable for the automotive industry because we have a huge number of parts in the in the pharma industry and all. You how many parts will have 5 to 10 lakhs and all kind of. But here you will see billions of part in SPP which needs to be planned. So that's how there is a differences, but yeah, we will not go into the APO much. Yeah, definitely that is also a lot of advantage we have in service parts planning. Then we have a different systems, that is HCM. So SPP is a part of APO. Okay, so APO means DP, SNP, PPDS and all they call it. Including that, SPP is a part of APO, which is tightly integrated with ECC and CRM as well. So for ECC, it's a core interface. For the CRM, it's a RFC middleware that is being used. So that's how this is a very good solution where all your integration takes place automatically. Okay. So this is one of the major feature of SPP, which is not available in APO. So this is called as a master data in SPP, bill of distribution. So here you can see there are several distribution centers and all that has a network of hierarchy of a networks. So we call it as an entry location, child location and all. And that's how, as per your business, this is the first criteria you need to set up. How is your total network looks like? Okay, what is your entry location, what are your customer facing location, and accordingly all the planning will take place. So this we will see how to do this and how to create the bill of distribution, how to assign the parts, how to plan those parts as per the BOD, what are the different future BOD. There is a concept of future BOD, then virtual location. So all this concept we'll see in the detail. Okay, so what are the planning capabilities the service parts can offer you? See, it will plan all the slow and fast moving parts. So being in the automotive industry, you will see certain parts will have very sporadic demand. Means once in a year somebody will order that part. So that is very what we call it as intermittent in nature. Okay, so that kind of functionality is not available in APO, but that is common scenario in service parts planning. That's how we have this sporadic demand concept, and where the specific algorithm has been developed to do the forecasting. So there are certain advantage in SPP as well, this kind of scenario. Then you can segregate your part and then decide whether like it is a slow mover, it is fast mover, where to stock, where to destock, how to calculate your safety stock, repair versus buy. Means you can You can modify certain product and repair it and sell as a new product, refurbishment. So those concepts also will come. Normally I have seen it's not being used much, but there is a possibility that you can go for it. Then the DRP means, suppose the part is not available, then you have to procure from the supplier. See, the main difference is also the service part planning is only the external procurement. Okay, it's no production. So PPDS, APO, SNP, DP, they can do their manufacturing as well. But in SPP, it is just the external procurement. You can procure the part from the various supplier and bring back to the customer. So that's how it is called external planning only. So those things we will see: deployment, of course, complex super sessions, alerts, triggers, everything will check in next, in during the course of time. So there are certain categories, we can say, is how the processes are developed. Supply chain design, parts demand planning, where all your forecasting and then automatic modeling, realignments, that will place. Then destocking, EOQ. Supply chain design means how you wanted to design your master data. Parts inventory planning, where you have all the stocking, destocking, target, service level, surplus, excess quantity. Part supply planning, where you do all the DRP stuff, and part distribution, where you all do all the deployment stuff. So it's just a segregation of different processes. And this is the famous diagram in SPP. So whoever know the SPP, they have seen this, I think, millions times. This diagram pops up everywhere. Okay, so there is a tactical planning, operative planning, and execution. So your demand, capture demand history, stocking, destocking, realignment, forecasting, EOQ, everything comes under the tactical. When it comes to the DRP deployment, it's operative, and execution means after the DRP run, what you get as output, and what after the deployment run, what are the output. For example, stocks transfer requisition, scheduling agreement, purchase requisition, and how you will transfer to the ECC. So all those things will be covered. So this is the main process for the demand capture. So basically, when you want to do the forecasting, on what basis you do the forecasting, you should have the sales history for that particular product. So how to capture this sales history? You can capture it from the CRM, or you can capture it from the ECC, or through flat file. So there are various methods, and that's how you capture those demand in quantities as well as at the item level. Then you aggregate those demands at the stocking location, and based on that, demand categories also will be available, and then you can mention whether it is a forecasting relevant or not relevant. Then it comes to the manage historical demand, where the realignment takes place. I mean, suppose part A is going to be replaced with part B. Okay, so the demand history of part A, that needs to be transferred to the part B, because part A is going to be obsolete. So how to do that? That realignment concepts will come. Then which scenarios the realignment happens, like if there is a change in the BOD, if there is a decision, stocking, destocking decisions, if you are setting up certain triggers, and those concepts will see in the manage historical demand. So we are talking so much on the stocking and destocking. It's pretty straightforward by looking at the definition itself, right? Whether particular location you want to stock that part or not. So how do you decide it? So there are functionals available in the SPP, and that is defined by how much is your demand, what is your cost of the product, and based on that, certain algorithms take place and decide whether your stocking, destocking has to be there or not. So that comes under the inventory planning as well. So then you do the forecasting, which is there in the DP as well. There are various methods of forecasting. So similar in SPP also you will find it. with additional one like sporadic forecasting and all. So forecasting, for your forecasting, the aggregated demand history is the input. So once you have those demand history, your forecasting algorithms will run and then generate the forecast, and then we'll see the outlier corrections and all, how to do this model selection, tuning of the parameters and all. So this is the economic order quantity and safety stock. So it compares what is your total inventory cost, what is your ordering cost, and minimum of that it's supposed to be OQ quantity. I mean, you can't like don't do the overstocking of product if there is a no demand, right? So you have to build a minimum safety stock and EOQ quantity so that your inventory holding cost and ordering cost should be minimal. So that's how there are certain techniques to do that we'll see in the EOQ and safety stock. Then comes my favorite area is DRP, because it is kind of challenging area. So what we do normally here, we have to identify the total demand of your BOD. Means it's like, okay, what is there in the Oslo, what is the demand in the Frankfurt, so that aggregated demand from the bottom to top, that would be aggregated at the parent location, and then we generate the scheduling proposal to the suppliers by considering your various inputs from the inventory planning, forecasting and all, and then you plan those procurement. It's a replacement within the BOD. So that is a good result, what I would say. Those results what comes up after the DRP, rounded net demand, applying this rounding rules and all. So that is good to analyze it. So that's how we'll see in the DRP. And finally, the major process comes as the deployment. Means deployment in the sense, now you have the already you have procured from the supplier and it's available at the entry location. Now you have to distribute as per the demand in the child location. So how you will do that? So that's how the deployment takes care. That is from top to bottom level replacement within the BOD. And there are two types, but I have mostly worked on the pull deployment only, not push. Push is not being used that majorly in the industries. So inventory balancing process, where you have the excess and there is a shortage, that can be calculated by the inventory balancing, and then you will identify the lateral movement of those stock from one location to the other location. Surplus obsolescence, okay, for if particular location has extra inventory, then that can be disposed or somewhere it can be transferred. Or if it is there is no inventory from the since long time and the retention period has been elapsed, then that product is obsolete, then you don't have to keep the inventory for that product. So those decisions can be taken care by the surplus and obsolescence service. And finally comes with the global ETP. So as I mentioned, it is tightly integrated with the CRM. So whenever there is a sales order that gets created in CRM and that has been transferred to the SPP, the ATP check will happen based on the rules what we set up. So those are the methods we can check in the RBA rules and all. And based on those location search pattern and all, it will get confirmed or it will go into the back order. So those scenarios also we can check it. So this is overall, and then core interface, of course, that will be always there, because without SIF, nothing would work in SPP. And then, yeah, this much we can cover as a part of SPP. And any additional scenario or any additional topic you would see, okay, if you wanted to cover it, we'll check on that as well. But as of now, this is the overall SPP, I would say. Any further questions?
So are we going to cover ASNs or not?
Yes, definitely. It's a ECC, right? So that E to E flow, we are going to cover it. Okay, essence and all how this ASNs are doing the GR receipts and all, how the stock is getting updated in ECC, SPP, that and all we'll cover it.
Could you please tell me about like TPOP? This
That
TPOP,
is
what
third
is it
order,
about?
third party order processing, right? So
Like,
those are like TPOP processing you're talking about.
yes, yes. I mean, are they suppliers who process it, or is it something related to that, or is it other concept? Like
It's other concepts. It's a third party order processing where supplier can directly transfer to that particular customer rather than through BOD. Okay. So yeah, it's not covered here, but I can talk about some of the things in TPOP.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Any further question? Lalita, Prasad.
No, Shilpa, no from my side.
Okay. So this is what majorly I used to cover in my previous cases as well. But yeah, as I mentioned, if you come across anything like TPOP and all, and if you wanted to know more detail, we can include some of the stuff as well additionally.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, then Naveen, over to you.
Yeah. Do you have any more queries, Ankita and Lalita?
No, Naveen.
Okay, fine. Then okay, you can just leave your feedback, okay, and let us know. Okay, we can plan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Okay.
guys. Have a good day.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, Shilpa.
Thank you for
Thank you
your
for the
time.
demo.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for watching and please subscribe our channel.